once again, welcome to Connect Group, ladies. And you notice I said ladies, and the reason we did that is because you are going to have your own unique video every week. What we realized last year is that many of you were already in other Connect groups, and so Thursday morning at times had a certain level of redundancy for you, already going over information you had. So what we're going to try to do is each week produce a video just for you. Now, typically it's going to still be me recording the videos because I'm in the office. I have a little bit more experience doing videos. It's easier for me. But sometimes it's going to be Mary in here recording the videos. But each time that I record videos, it's going to be through discussion with Mary. She's going to give me her insight, even her instruction of what she wants me to cover. And so we hope that this will be a better blessing for you as we specifically address the topic from Sunday, but how it pertains to women. And so I want you to know that I take this very seriously. It's something I research, and I want to do it in a way that is very beneficial to you. And so I hope it connects to you. And like always, we're open to feedback. And so if you have any suggestions, feel free to give them to Mary. Mary can pass them on to me. And we just really think it's going to be a great year. And I want to encourage you to do two things. One is to be faithful to your group. I know that in every single Connect group, if people will be consistent to it, it helps it grow healthier, quicker. And so I just want to encourage you to make Thursday mornings a priority. But here's the second thing. Invite your friends. Thursday morning is designed to grow. So some of our other Connect groups, we kind of close them down when they get to a certain size. Thursday morning is not designed that way. It's designed to grow and to grow and to grow. So if you have any other lady friends that you know, invite them to Thursday. They can come as often as they want. Hopefully they'll get consistent with it. There's free childcare that we do need them to sign up for. But we would love for this to grow. I mean, I would love for this to be a huge group every single Thursday morning to those that are available. So again, feel free to invite your friends. All right, so let's dive into the message. This past Sunday, I want to now do a recap of Sunday, but Sunday was a recap of the previous four messages as we looked at what Jesus taught. So I'm going to do a recap of a recap. So what happened this past Sunday is we looked at a teaching of Jesus where he talked about this idea of the fruit of a tree. That was an analogy talking about our lives. Just the same way that we can look at a tree. If a tree produces good fruit, it's a good tree. If a tree produces bad fruit, it's a bad tree. And if a tree, we could take it further and say if a tree produces no fruit, it's a bad tree. But what that was an analogy of is our lives. And what Jesus is saying is we can take away the mystery of wondering if, one, we're walking in obedience, but two, if we're truly trusting Jesus to walk in the way that he's laid out for us so that we can experience life. And he says, here's the proof. Look at your actions. Look at the behavior of your life. The same way you can look at a tree and look at the fruit, he says your actions are the fruit of you being a tree. So there's no mystery here. Look at your actions. And so we went back and we looked at the previous four sermons. We looked at the idea when Jesus talked about us and challenged us in how we invest our resources. He did it the poor versus the rich, and the hungry versus the full, and the mourning versus the joyful, and the persecuted versus the well-liked. And he said the deeper issue there wasn't about poor or rich. It was how we invest our resources. So the question would be is, in our lives, when we talk about how we invest our resources, what's the fruit of that? What's the fruit of our lives? I mean, what can we look at and see in front of us that this is proof that we trust Jesus and that we're walking in obedience? I want you to hear this. Jesus wasn't saying this statement to condemn us. Jesus was saying this so that we will know that we can look at our lives and see, are we truly experiencing the full life that he offers? So then the next week we looked at the idea of loving and doing good to those that are enemies or those who persecute us or those who hate us. And so the question, again, we would have is, are we in our lives living out a way and doing actions that prove that we trust Jesus and we're going to walk in obedience? And then we looked at the difficult week of judging people and condemning them versus forgiving and giving to them. And once again, what we look at is, what is the proof of our lives? What is it that's the evidence? Okay, but then Jesus, which he always does, gives us a way to understand this better and to actually walk out a way of how to do this. And he says, let me give you the secret to all of this. The heart is the source. Whereas the fruit is the evidence, the heart is the source. And what he says is, if what you put in your heart is good, then good things are going to come out. If what you put into your heart is bad or evil, then that's what's going to come out. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And this is what I want to focus on specifically with you as ladies. Again, I've talked with Mary about this. I've gotten her insight, and I've asked her questions so she can allow me to kind of, as best I'm able, to get into the mind of a woman, which is a totally scary place for me as a man. I was not raised in a house with ladies besides my mom. I had two brothers who I spent most of my time with, and so over the years, as I've gotten to know my wife and gotten to know other ladies, I realized that you are beautifully designed, but so unique and so different. And as you look at the life of a woman, here's what all of you will know that it was a new experience for me to learn. But for women, that women are very much emotional and relational beings, okay? This is how you're wired. And this is wonderful and this is beautiful. So when you think about how a woman is designed to be relational, to be emotional, I'm not just talking emotions as in tears. I'm talking about to feel emotions and to have deep feelings toward people and to be sympathetic and to be empathetic and to connect to people and to reach out to people and to relationally want to connect. And in my experiences, many women have a bent to themselves where they want to make people happy, which can be a very, very good thing. Many times it's a wonderful thing, but you want to make people happy. And so you strive to reach a certain level of expectations and a certain level of perfection because you want to take care of people. This is why women always have to have their house clean and they want to be presentable and they care about how they come across, is because it's a desire to please people and to connect to people. But I want you to think about your heart. If that is true about your heart, that you're designed to be emotional and relational and to please people, what is the possibility of the things that can be placed in your heart that can actually steer you toward a direction, maybe a direction that will not naturally lend itself toward investing your resources for God? It might lead you in a direction that will not naturally lend itself toward forgiving people and loving people who are against you. It might not lend itself toward a path that will not lead you toward judging and condemning people. And guys have their own unique struggle, but I'm just speaking to you as ladies right now. What is it about your heart that can lead you that way? And if left unaddressed, if you don't address these things that are getting placed in your heart, then what is the possibility of where you might end up in your lives? So I think even now as I'm talking, many of you will realize that you have allowed things to be placed in your heart through culture and through other people, and maybe even through yourself and your own expectations that have caused you to go in a direction that you know you're not experiencing the full life that Jesus offers. And so today you're going to discuss this in your groups. You're going to look at what are the things that get uniquely placed into the heart of a woman and how that you can go and address them. Let me look at some other things I want you to look at today. So then the flip side of your heart. So there's two sides to this. There's one, you want to be defensive of what you allow to be placed in there. But here's the second thing for you as women. What is it that you intentionally need to place inside your heart so that you can actually walk into the direction that Jesus has for you? Now I want you to think about that because it's unique to you as women. I think women need to have encouragement. I think you need to have kind words being spoken to you, which means you need healthy friendships and healthy relationships. I think women need calm and peace in this time of their lives. My experience with my wife and the ladies I know is there's a tendency to become very, very busy, very task-oriented, because, again, you want to please people, you want to accomplish something. But what that lends itself to is never having silence, never having peace, and which means you typically will probably never allow the Holy Spirit to speak to you and to heal the things of your heart that are wounded and that are hurt. So what all do you need? You need relationships, you need encouragement, you need times of peace and times of quiet, times of prayer and reflection, times of worship, and the other things you can place in your heart. And so as you discuss this as a group and as you encourage each other, what are the things that you need to intentionally place in there? And then today you're going to look at two other questions. These are unique to you that I'm asking you, and here they are. I'm going to say a statement, then a question. The only way you will invest your resources the way Jesus taught is to have a goal set apart from emotions. So what I mean by that is, right when you're all caught up in emotions, all of us are this way, but for women, when you're caught up in emotions, at that time it's going to be very difficult to set a proper goal. So when you're not in an emotional moment, when you have a moment of total clarity, that's when you need to stop and set a goal for you to determine how you're going to invest your resources. See, when you get caught up in emotions, you're going to think, I need a bigger house, and I need these things, and I need to look this way, and I need to act this way, and very temporary things become a priority in your life. But when you can calm yourself and settle yourself, what is the goal that you need to set for your life, or goals, plural? What are some goals that you can set apart from emotion so that when emotions arise and they kind of start to gain on you, you can stop and look and say, but this decision and this behavior does not line up with the goals I know that Jesus gave for me. And very much in that line, I said this: the only way to forgive is to have a culture of forgiveness. How do you begin to do that? Right now in your life, how as a woman can you set up a culture of releasing people that have hurt you, that have wounded you, people that have let you down, people that have said and done things to you that have scarred you? How can you even now start to set up and develop a culture that releases them? So today, all of your questions are based around you as women, what are unique to you, and I encourage you to be open, to share, to be encouraging to others, allow the wisdom that you've learned to encourage others. And guys, I am praying for you. I shouldn't say guys, ladies, I am praying for you. I love you, I'm proud of you, and I can't wait to see you all at one of our services this weekend. God bless you.